The Bounty Hunters. All right, little lady, you and I are going to be having a bit of a chat about what the hell has been going on, Pukey says as he looms over Katniss and she whimpers on the ground in pain and fear. Or you could take her 2 doors down and someone who actually knows their gourd from a board will answer your questions freely. A voice says from over the ship intercom above them all. Grandma, they shot me. Katniss sobs. Yes, they did. They did because you attacked them. But they were supposed to defend themselves as everyone does. I told you those books would rot your brain. Katniss's grandmother barks back. I'll be down shortly. 2 doors down, please, and follow my daughter's instructions. I will willingly explain everything. All right, but if this is some kind of trick, we're walking away with your granddaughter's head and burning the body. At this point, that may be the best possible result. Please go 2 doors down as I head down and try to figure out how to take out the weeds in this delicate situation. The grandmother states, and Pukey looks down at the sniveling alien and pockets his sword. Ow, 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 it hurts. She whines as he carries her bridal style 2 doors down with the rest of the team somewhat at ease, but still ready behind him. The door opens to reveal a large room with the head gourd of a Floric in the center. The eyes open. What the withering rot happened? The head demands. What happened to your knees? Who are you people? Why are you in here? Katniss screwed up big time. I'm heading down. Keep things calm, Yachi. The grandmother orders, and the now-named Hochi sighs even as the leaves and vines sprouting from the top of her gourd shift to form tiny arms with leaves for hands. It's true, daughters are the galaxy's revenge on their mother. Yoshi moans into her leaf hands. Bury her up to her waist, please. What has my idiot daughter been getting up to? We traced a money trail back to her. This money trail's opposite end resulted in the brutal public execution of Mother Mailer, a very popular high priestess. Section 1 is on the verge of riot, and although a person to pin the blame on has been found, few people are fooled and the violence could kick up at any moment. She's another victim. Katniss is way too young to even understand half the things you just told me. She's 2 months newly budded, Yahtzee protests. She also tried to kill us when we came in for answers, Pukey says as he puts the still sniffling and sobbing Katniss down and grabs a spade leaning against the nearby wall. This a good spot? It's fine, Hossie says, looking over the others. There is no trust between your team and me, is there? Ma'am, your species has a reputation for cannibalism. We're not going to risk it. You're also making it tempting to just eat you so my problems go away. Weren't you just told to keep things calm? Tang asks in an amused tone. Lassie growls in annoyance and there's a shifting under the earth as if she wants to move but can't. She lets out a sigh of defeat. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate it. She screams just in time for the door to open. Another Floric who looks decidedly unimpressed. It's part of growing up, you little fool. I would have thought 3 months of thinking would be enough for some manners, but daughters are a galaxy's revenge on their mother. The grandmother says, Excuse me a moment. This is a bit of a learning moment. Learning? Learning? Heavily armed aliens have broken into our home and you're worried about me learning? Katniss has been badly shot and you're worried about me learning. Yoski protests. The grandmother glances towards where Pukey is helping Katniss lower her legs into the hole he dug, then scooping the earth back over. How terrifying, she states calmly before crouching down to be closer to her daughter's level. This is a lesson that should have come to you earlier. This is a truth that should have been apparent before, but sometimes you can do everything right and still have everything go wrong. You waited until you had plenty of everything before having a daughter. You made sure I was up and moving to help you. You were smart and pragmatic and it's still gone wrong. Welcome to life. You've been an excellent mother, and Katniss still went off and had to learn about consequences in a brutal way. Welcome to life. You have a situation you hate, but have to work with anyways. Welcome to life. The grandmother stands up as her daughter is left grumbling in annoyance. She offers a smile that doesn't show off her fangs and gives a tiny dip of a bow. I am Irutha, mother of Jossi and grandmother of Katniss. What has my newborn granddaughter been up to? We traced a money trail from the brutal execution of Mother Mailer and her unborn daughters down to your granddaughter. A riot is threatening to break out, and if we can find who's responsible and throw them to the crowd, we may be able to prevent thousands of deaths, Pookie says, and Yossi makes a noise of protest. You didn't tell me she was pregnant, Yossi answers. I had thought her well known enough to be understood as effectively always pregnant. Pookie answers, I was wondering why so many people were going crazy. If you traced it to Katniss, then I've got good and bad news. The bad news is that the trail continues. The good news is that I can help you. You see, Katniss tells me everything. Not everything, Katniss whimpers. Such as how her friend who showed her all sorts of neat money tricks and even lent her some to practice with is on the ship, Irutha offers. I told you that crazy bitch was bad news, Yachi barks. She's not crazy, she's my friend, Katniss protests. She uses fire for everything. No race like that is right in the head, Hachi volleys back. She's nice and funny. She led you around by the nose in order to get a few degrees of separation and kill someone she doesn't like. Irutha backs up her daughter. If you could use a name, I'd be deeply appreciative. Pookie remarks, I'm not selling out Chez Marie. Katniss protests before covering her mouth. Oh, Katniss, Yossi sighs in disappointment. Wait, the Apuk Battle Princess? Pookie demands. Oh shit, Nuit says. This just went way over the pay grade. Swear continues. Why would an Apuk do these things? Don't they highly value things like fair combat, honor, and forthrightness? Litha asks curiously. There's a reason she's among pirates. Katniss may have made friends with her, but I did a bit of digging. She's got a mean streak wider than the station and never forgets a grudge or insult. No doubt Mother Mailer did something to anger her in the past and she never let it go. I'm not sure what, though. With that woman, there's no telling what. Oh no. Irutha begins explaining before trailing off as the local temperature starts climbing aggressively. Gossiping behind a girl's back. How very, very rude. There's a flash of movement and a yipe of pain as Onyx is sent staggering to the side as a delicate-looking woman with tumbling golden locks, a heart-shaped face and tiny horns walks in. She's wearing a gorgeous bright pink dress made of naught but lace and bows and scanning the room under her tiny crown. Nui and Swar simply vanish. Are you going to deny these allegations? Pookie asks, tapping his thigh 3 times. Behind Chez Marie, Bike nods and he steps out of the room to bring out his communicator while out of sight and begins immediately making a plan. Now Pookie just needs to keep her attention. Allegations. Murder. Infanticide. Subversion of station assets. Attempting to start a riot. Considering Katniss's situation, we can get you on reckless endangerment of minors as well. That's cute that you think you're going to be in any position to do anything, little Tret. She answers with a smile and Pookie nods while cupping his chin. A double tap on his neck with the ring finger. Tang and Onyx both recognize the sign and quietly drag out Litha. Interesting, very interesting. You know, trying to understand the mind of an alien has been one of the fascinations since my race crawled out of cruel space. Are you interested in answering more questions? He asks, pacing around to get the line of fire well and truly away from the Floric. He needs to lure her away bit by bit. You're from the humans? Oh dear, anything like that Vernon character? Similar training, but he's Nerd Squad. His mind works differently from mine. A pity. That might have saved you, Chez Marie says calmly as she follows his gentle pacing out. You know I'm not stupid. I've seen all your companions. If you think offering yourself up will buy them time enough to escape, then you're sadly mistaken. Oh, So you're just humoring my self-sacrifice? Pukey asks, as his mind whirls as he tries to find an answer. Everything he does will have to be axiom-enhanced, and heavily, because Chez Marie is going to hit him like planetary impact. He saw the Shellcracker tournament. Of course, after all, you're just you. You've already admitted that you're no sorcerer, and that's what would be needed to best me. She says, following him down the corridors and most importantly away from his men and those with him. He can see Bike, Tang, and Onyx keeping a respectful distance in the reflection of her over-the-top jewelry as Bike is furiously trying to make a plan. Well then, as a final request, might I ask for a bit of clarification? It would be a shame to meet my ancestors without knowing a few things. Of course. Tell you what, if you amuse me, I might even use your corpse to help make my daughter. Few beings can look death in the eye so calmly. Practice, ma'am. Practice. He says, jovially, tapping his cybernetic eye with a hard light finger as he gently leads her towards the airlock. After all, I saw it quite close once. What was it? It's too rough for a molecular weapon, wrong pattern for plasma or laser. A snake's claw, actually, shortly after I lost my arm to this very plasma sword, Pukey says, casually pulling out the weapon. He starts slowly, pumping in axiom into the hard light of his arm and into himself for stability. He knows this is going to be bad. Ah, there you are. You know that's quite freaky to see that it takes this much to actually frighten a human. You're a very stubborn species, aren't you? We are, but you haven't told me anything about the modified images or the false shooter. I don't know a thing about either. I just wanted the bitch dead, and when I noticed 2 less than subtle snipers already in place, things lined up like magic, and I used the account I helped Katniss set up to get them to shoot. Why? 3 years. What? Pukey asks, and she closes her eyes in furious remembrance. He points to the airlock vigorously behind his back, and in one of Chez Marie's gaudy earrings he can see Bike nod. For 3 years straight, that annoying bitch hassled me every single day, Chez Marie begins before sucking in a deep breath. Oh, you would look so much better in traditional garments. Oh, what a frumpy dress, here I got you something. Oh, a girl like you needs a husband to really complete her. Any children yet? Oh, this and oh, that, on and on for years. I wanted not only her dead and gone, but her entire cult. But then some stupid bimbo decided to get her revenge as I'm getting mine, and it cools everything off. Looks like I'm going to need to get actually bloody to finish this one off. You are one petty piece of work, you know that, right? It's just some idiot talking to you. Ignore it and move on, you don't need to kill them. Oh, but I do. No one tells me how I live, and no one disrespects Chez Marie the horn gouger. Is that gouging people with your horns or gouging out other people's horns? Pukey asks. Both. She answers before smiling at him, and that gives me a great idea. Does it? Bike, now. Bike? She asks, and both halves of the airlock suddenly open and they're sucked out into the vacuum of space. His badge works as they tumble through nothingness with the initial acceleration of the decompression carrying them over the station. Gravity begins to hold and he slowly falls down. He turns to see where her possible corpse went, only for his eyes to widen in shock, and he starts to brace. She slams into him like a missile. He deflects with his hard light arm, and for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. He hits the outer hull of the station and bounces twice. Green light fills the area and he dives away to avoid the crater, leaving impact of Chez Marie jetting down on raw warfire. Her face, previously delicate and almost angelic looking, is now twisted in absolutely insane rage. Her eyes are bloodshot and there's a look of definite strain. Perhaps he does have a chance after all.